And
Hello, everybody. Hi, this is Pauline, and I also have Matt Johnson here. So we are doing an interview. So I'm Pauline with Chemic Healthcare Services. We are a full-service home health agency in the Greater Houston area. Our office is located in Sugar Land, and we've been in business for over 20 years. We provide everything from in-home caregiver services to home health services, skilled nursing, therapy, wound care, IV infusion, and beyond. And recently, we've expanded into hospice care, and we are offering right now charity hospice services for a loved one, or for yourself, or for a loved one who may need such a service. Today, we are going to be talking about all things healthcare, and we have an amazing health insurance broker, Mr. Matt Johnson. And so he's been in the business for several years. He's with BIG Insurance, and I'll allow him to introduce himself, and we'll go ahead and get started with this interview.
excellent. Thank you. I'm happy to be here, Pauline. My name is Matthew. I'm an owner for the brokerage Johnson Health and Life LLC, and I am working with many different individuals who need to get their own insurance, whether it be for reasons of retirement, early retirement, leaving the business, or becoming an entrepreneur, or being a 1099. There's many ways that I get in touch with people, and I even have started going into the small business realm too, where people can develop their group benefits up to as high as 500 employees. Now, when I say health and life, that means there's so many different ways I can do that, whether you're beginning of life or looking at end of life, and health, dental, vision, and supplementary as well. There's a lot of different suite of benefits I can offer, but I'm absolutely happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, me as an entrepreneur, a business owner, and someone who's also worked in the corporate field as a pharmacist, there's a huge difference when it comes to health insurance in the realm. One, in the corporate world, you have insurance provided to you. You have open enrollment season. You enroll based off of what the company provides, and it's typically a company that they work with. As an entrepreneur, the opportunities are a lot more endless, but a lot with that, there comes a lot of really like confusion, right? Which is the right one for me? And so, kind of tell me a little bit about you as a broker, since you don't work directly for a health insurance company. What is the difference between, what is the benefit of working with someone like you?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I think once people get a sense and can get a chance to find out how the people get paid and what kind of products are offered, it can really open up a lot. When I am someone who likes to be shown my options and be informed on what those are, and be given the pros and cons between them, because I hate it when someone's trying to show me something that they want me to buy, and hiding any sort of things that could be seen as potentially negative. I think it's important that people in this day and age, especially where people are informed, they have a lot of information provided to them, that they get a sense for what's available out there in the market to them, especially if there's someone who's healthy and doesn't use health insurance very often. Um, but particularly when you look at someone who's entering the market, and they get approached by a health insurance company, and they have their own agents reaching out to sign people up. That health insurance company is only after its own interests to reserve its assets for people who it wants to insure. However, that means that their options for providing benefits is going to be very limited, and what that means is you will only see one or two options. You might be paying for things you don't need. For example, if you're middle-aged and you're no longer looking to have kids, you're paying for the option to have health insurance for yourself being pregnant. Or if you're very healthy and you don't go to the doctor often, you're paying more for different benefits you may not actually end up using and may never even need. So when you work with a broker, you're able to fine tune exactly what you need line by line, and get the customized form for health insurance that will better suit you, whether it be your own needs, your budget, or your situation. And that's kind of really what ties into what does that well. And I think a common misconception people have too is when I work with an independent broker, is there an added fee to go do your services? You seem to be doing a lot and taking a lot of time to help me. And I say, no, actually, it's not. And that's the misconception people have. When they enter the market and they see different options and they see, okay, this person gets paid hourly at a health insurance company, um, that they're going to be in my best interest. And actually, it ends up not being the case.
Mm,
Very often you actually find people who are working hourly who are in positions that get paid very low and they don't have very high motivation to help people get the help that they need or to learn what options are available. Instead, they're filling a quota that they need to meet. Whereas
mm,
when you work with someone who's independent, who does get paid commission, their sole interest is on benefiting the client and not the health insurance company. So getting them what exactly they need, fitting at the price that will cover them properly. Because once you sign up that policy with that agent, they're your agent for life as long as possible. They are invested in making sure that you get taken care of properly, and not put you on something that's going to fall flat when you need it. And so when you have that higher buy-in to reach that person 24/7, who's going to want to make sure that they put you on something good, then that will match the product that you get and the better service you're going to get from the individual too. Um, so kind of boiling it down, if you want someone who works for you, go through an independent broker. If you want someone who works for the health insurance companies, call the health insurance companies on their number on their website. But who knows if you're gonna ever get to talk to someone that actually knows the level of things that an independent broker will.
mm. Wow, that's a great insight. And I think a lot of people may have that misconception, just because, especially coming from corporate, you maybe sometimes have a rep that comes to your, facility that sits down during open enrollment. And so it may truly look like there is a vested interest in your specific needs. But knowing that behind the scenes, there's truly limited options and it's not necessarily tailored is very valuable, especially if you are leaving and going in the entrepreneur route or just want to have further options even if you are working in the corporate field. So thank you
Yeah.
for that insight. One of the biggest questions I have, and also is, in the home health we bill insurance, and so as home health there are different ways for it to be paid, and health insurance is one of them. And so some of the questions are with patients are, okay, I have HMO. Is that covered? Or I got PPO. Are you guys covered? What is the difference between HMO and PPO?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's very important. That's actually one of the biggest reasons why I entered this space in the first place. So I used to be a student physical therapist. I went to the University of St. Augustine in Austin, and it was during 2020. If no one understands what the field of physical therapy is, it's basically people who work with people before and after surgery to rehabilitate them. And one thing I like to do before I sit into something, I like to really study it out and understand if it'll be a right fit for me. While I was before and during while I was in the graduate school program, I was interviewing doctors, nurses, um, physical therapists, and patients, understanding what is the whole problem? How do you interact with the physical therapy field? And one of the biggest problems that surfaced in my research was that there was a high propensity for patients to wait longer and to need um, referrals in order to see a specialist. And in the physical therapy world, they actually are now advocating for a physical therapist to have a doctorate, which I was in the program for, and there's no longer a master's or bachelor's available to get that because as a primary care physician, you could be the first person they go to seek care because what was happening before then is the doctors on an HMO establishment, they were being paid to keep patients in their pool and to visit them often and to need prescriptions filled. Whereas on the PPOs, you get some of the better doctors who know and are knowledgeable about when to refer out to people and get paid based on referrals happening, so that it's better in interest for the the client getting the help because many doctors, especially if they're highly specialized or highly generalized, they don't know when to refer people out. They think they could just, give them a pill to help alleviate the surface problems and not the actual problem underlying. Okay. So, so ordinarily, when you're seeing that, the HMO organization, the health maintenance organization, as what that means. It's a limited network usually, and depending on where you go, it can be actually pretty inexpensive. If you don't plan to travel anywhere, you plan on going to that one place, it's just fine. It usually suits you quite well. The requirements on the health maintenance organization is that you have referrals to see a specialist. Your network is usually limited, so if you go out of network to somewhere to get care, you're paying fully out of pocket. You're not getting that contracted discount for being in the same network. Um, and there's no copays and there's no max out of pocket. You are fully committed to paying whatever that is, and that's rough. The
Mhm.
PPOs, um, you have a lot more flexibility to travel without the organization that they're contracted with. This offers you more options to see in and out of network. Of course, however, the in-network discount gets you a lot further in your benefits.
Mhm.
Um, it's a preferred provider organization. That also means that these preferred providers are going to be more skilled and inept in being able to treat people well because the health insurance companies are constantly monitoring, how is the progress of my patients doing, and is that getting better or worse with these certain providers, and they track that.
Mm.
And on the back end, when they see that progress moving in the right spot, they'll pay them better, and they'll have more access to more clients because of that. And at another level between that, when it comes to who is giving you permission to get care and have things done on an HMO, the health maintenance organization, the health insurance company is being
Mhm.
the ones telling you that you can go to places or not, or get
Mm.
certain work done. And on a preferred provider organization, you get more access to the doctor being in charge of what you need and where you need to go to get it. So if I were thinking to myself, would I like the health insurance company to tell me where I can go, or would I want a doctor who knows what they're doing tell me what I need and where I can go? So I think those are the biggest things that offer the most value to get people the care they need um, because you want someone who knows what they're doing and can take
Absolutely.
care of that.
Thank you so much for that insight. And I mean, you're truly a wealth of knowledge, and you have so much to offer. When it comes to making that decision. And I'll just to share a quick short story. We have patients all the time, that are either trying to get home health services, and we've actually had a family that was referred to us and really loved our nurses and the things that we had. One of the limitations happened to be their insurance. They happened to be within an HMO service, and that
Mhm.
was one of the limiting factor. We did all we could pro bono because again, we do go above and beyond for our patients. However, there is a limitation. Ultimately, we are a business, and we had to stop. After some time. But she was, and it was due to the HMO. We tried to get a network or have some kind of exceptions. The organization did not provide the thing that she needed, and
Uh-huh.
so, or for her mother, anyways. And so, and that was truly what the difference was. And so we were the better home health agency for her, but she had to do a lot of work running around and a lot of stress, and actually end up having to pay out of pocket for some of the services we provided just
Mm.
because we were available, readily available. We did everything we could. um, you know, we just met her needs better, right? And so with that stated, just to kind of wrap that up, is that that HMO limited her to getting the care that she would have received, possibly from what I'm understanding with a PPO,
Yeah.
and things of that nature. And so, just to kind of further inquire about this, if a client is knows their needs, or they're at a certain disease state, or they kind of or maybe can guess, maybe, hey, these are certain things that I may need in the next 5 years, in the next year, or whatnot.
Mhm.
Are you able to cater your services to be able to know, hey, if you're needing home health, or if you're needing, you know, certain type of services, right?
Mhm.
This is the best one to choose, either HMO, PPO. Are those some of the things that you do?
Those are some of the things I do, but it all depends on when they're entering the market to look for health insurance. All right, so if let's talk about it, for example, with our cars. Um, I don't know about you, if you own a car or two, or myself. I own a car. My wife has one too, so we can go to different places. If we were to think about it this way, um, we don't no insurance company is going to want to inherit claims. Okay,
Mhm.
so I'll put the example for the cars. My wife and I own a car. We have to go places, and we have them insured now. If we didn't have them insured and we decided, you know what, I just need to save money, I need to be going okay, and it's not something I want to invest in, that's fine, it's your choice. But some people think that when you get your car in an accident, say if we were to go to I-10 and we turn the wrong way, we hit someone we didn't see, and now we have a car in an accident and we have bills to pay to get that car fixed, right? Well, the worst time to think about getting insurance is when something's already broken and needs to be fixed. Um, there's a really big problem that's happening in the market where the ACA, Obamacare, Marketplace.gov, it's the same thing, accepts everyone, no matter if they have pre-existing conditions or not. So if you have cancer, if you have home health needs right now, or you have these big expensive things that need to be paid, there's so many people who are going on the market right then who are qualified, right? They have special enrollment privileges, or they're got in through open enrollment, and they pay for a little while or get this huge subsidy, and then once they're done getting their help, they stop paying, and they leave all the rest of that payment to be paid from the people who are healthy, who don't even use it much, or the people who are very expensive, who are driving up the costs of insurance. Okay, because um, that's kind of a portion of the problem I want to explain. So the
Mm,
time to get it is not when you actually need it. The time to have insurance is is when you're healthy and young. That's the best time to be on something there. Okay, because a lot of private insurances, when you because there's no PPOs on the marketplace in Texas. I want to make that known. All of them are HMOs or EPOs. There's no PPOs anymore since as of 2018. And the reason why it's been done away is because people have been so expensive to take care of that they have had to eliminate that on the marketplace. The only places that you can get PPOs are through your employer or going through an individual broker like myself who can provide those to you. And they take different assessments to whether they'll insure you or not. And I'll kind of go through those in tier levels, okay? The higher tier levels are the ones that look at ensuring the most healthy people. These are going to be a lot less risky individuals, so their premiums are actually going to be lower because there's a lot of people who don't go see the doctor often that are paying their premiums and keeping that cost low.
mhm,
As a result, these people are low risk, so they get really good benefits. If you go down a little bit, you have a group under the health underwritten policies that look at your health right now and in the past. How are you doing risk wise?
mhm,
Um, just below that, there's simplified issue plans for people. They
mhm,
ask a few questions up front. They may not actually look behind the scenes for your underwriting if you've been submitting claims on the hospitals or medical records that show anything. They may not look at your medical history with your what you've been prescribed, and they'll just ask a few questions. Are you in the hospital now? Are you have chronic bronchitis? Do you have any of these big problems, cancer going on? Are you getting treatments for that? All up front, and you have to be honest because for the next full year, you won't get treated for anything pre-existing. And so, if anything, the best thing you can have happen is they treat you and insure you for anything that happens after the date you get coverage. Um, and and that can be a problem for many people who need something really expensive to be taken care of right there and then. So usually for a lot of people who are low income, it's Medicaid that will take care of that, or maybe they have Social Security income they can have from a disability,
Mhm.
and you've probably seen that.
Yeah.
Um, and then at the lowest tier, you have guaranteed issue plans. Through the tiers, if they look at you and see determine you're healthy, you have better benefits. Down at the lower guaranteed issue plans, you have lower benefits, and they're designed a little bit differently. Meaning, yes, you get benefits to help you pay for things, but
Mhm.
at the end of the day, there's no guaranteed limit of what you're actually going to pay out of pocket. Um, you get benefits to pay for things, but that's about it. And this is payable to anyone who has a pulse, essentially. um,
Mm.
and that's sometimes for people who have social security numbers, sometimes for people who don't. So even if you're an international, you can get on these policies and get help until you get your documents or whatever in place.
Mm. Wow.
So as a broker, I know it's just a ton of information, but
Yeah,
I use a lot of different ways to help get people the
I
help
see
they need.
that.
But if they come to me last minute and tell me that they're really sick or they have full-on cancer now looking for insurance, I tell them, "I'm sorry, you're probably gonna get some limited payments right now and benefits. You really should have come to me much earlier where it would have been much less expensive." Because
Mm.
I'll tell you the alternative is not having insurance and paying out of pocket. I
Mhm.
had someone I called just last week actually, who had not paid insurance for a long time. He's in his 50s. He's actually never paid for his own insurance. He's like, "I'm healthy. I go to the doctor once a year. I get my preventative done check, and I'm done. That's easy." That's only been $250 a year. Well, one day he walks in the parking lot and twists his ankle, just out of nowhere, and it breaks in 3 places. And
Mhm.
he looks at his phone. He's like, "Okay, let me go to this nearest urgent care. Okay, let me go there." And expects, "Okay, this should be pretty cheap. This should be fine." Well, they find out in doing an X-ray that he broke his bone in 3 places, and he suggested to have a
Mhm.
surgery. And
Mhm.
so all around this, he had a surgery. So they did the surgery, and they put plates and screws in there to make sure things fit right. And he's like rocking, and after this point, he still hasn't had to do too much yet. After he finishes the surgery and comes out of the area where you're, rehabilitating, just after surgery, and he goes to the front desk, and she says, "All right, that'll be $88,000." And he's like, "I don't have money to pay that."
Wow.
She said, "Well, the best I can do is actually lower it by half, do a price discount, and that will be $44,000." Said, "I still can't do that." Well, she says, "Well, the best we can do is in 2 years, you need to pay this in full. So we're gonna put you on a plan by about $2,200 per month, and that needs to be
Mhm.
paid in full, or else we'll send it to collections."
Mhm.
And this poor guy in his 50s, he could have been paying for something at least half of that per month and have had that benefit him and get the care he needed. But instead, he chose to choose the risky route, and now he's paying for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a great story and a great reminder truly to all of us to take action now. If you don't have insurance or if you need, possibly need to revisit the coverage that you have. And so you seem to be very passionate. Obviously, which is why I wanted to interview you because health insurance is so much and it is a wealth of knowledge. And I encourage everyone to rewatch this video just to gather some of those things. I know I will be. And so I wanted to go ahead and, let the people know how to reach out to you. And of course, we'll have that in the like in the caption below. But how can they reach out to you if they're, looking to get insurance or looking to get insurance for their business, personally, or really just change their insurance based off of their needs, such as home health or any other diagnosis or service that they need? How can they reach out to you?
yeah, great question. I do free consultations, so if you have insurance now or looking to get insurance, that service is free. To book that, all you need to do is search on the internet, Johnson Health and Life LLC, and you'll find in the Google results I come under, and I have my website there, johnsonhealthandlife.com. You can book a consultation with me there, or you can use my Calendly link on any of my socials, whether that be Google, Facebook, or Instagram. You can find me there. I'd be happy to schedule time that you see in the calendar, and I'd love to get a chance to talk to you and help you.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. We will definitely be having a part two to talk more about home health and some of the benefits there. You guys have a great day. Bye for now. Stay healthy because that's where your wealth is. Bye bye.